What's up MMA fans, and welcome to another fight breakdown. My name is MMA HeadSpace, and today I would like to talk about Darren Till versus Jorge Masvidal. In this video I'll be going over both fighters' strengths and weaknesses and their keys to victory in their fight next weekend. Before I get to the breakdown, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all my supporters and followers. We are almost there at 400 subs, so if you're new here, please join the channel before it blows up and subscribe. My goal is to reach 500 subs by the end of March, so let's absolutely smash it. Okay, so let's get started about talking about what Darren Till does really well and what his keys to success are in this fight. Darren Till is a fantastic striker with 17 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. The loss was his last fight against Tyron Woodley in a championship bout, and there is no real shame in losing against a former champion in my opinion. One thing that I don't like about fighters with undefeated records is that they haven't really had to deal with that much adversity, and what makes championship material is when someone has a big loss at the pinnacle of the division, picks himself up, dusts themselves off and gets back in the gym and keeps fighting without making excuses. He has a wealth of experience in kickboxing and Muay Thai bouts, and I think it's about 50 fights in Muay Thai, so he really has a lot of stand-up skills. When it comes to the fight with Masvidal, Darren has said that he really wants to knock Masvidal out and finish the fight early. This is because of his performances against Wonderboy and Woodley. However, this means that Till will be intelligently pressuring Masvidal, controlling the distance by stepping forward, using his hands and elbows to try and find holes in Masvidal's stand-up game early on, but not taking any risks by overextending, just picking his shots carefully and trying to find Masvidal's chin. We also see Darren using a lot of elbows in his fights, and one way in which he might be able to catch Masvidal on the forward march is by using those big step-in elbows, or a baiting left hook to land a step-in elbow. It's these Muay Thai weapons that we see Till using in this fight if he's going to look to march forward. We could also see Till utilising his leg kicks in the fight too. He used this against Wonderboy to neutralise his kicking ability, but Masvidal also likes to march forward and corner people and make them move on to his left hook, so we'll have to see if Darren Till does use that jarring knee kick against Masvidal or not. One thing that Masvidal is good at though is the catch and counter, so Darren may be reluctant to use those kicks to the midsection like he normally does. Darren also has that big left hand. We liken it to Conor McGregor's left hand where he plants his feet, his back foot, which creates a really wide base, and that's where the power is generated from. Then, if Masvidal is rushing forward as we see him doing in previous fights, and he gets caught with a clean shot, there's going to be a barrage of sniper shots to follow it up. We should also expect to see that Till will have a power advantage going into this fight. He is a bigger man than Masvidal, and so Masvidal is going to have to use a lot of movement, going backwards and laterally to prevent an early knockout from Darren. Darren is basically going to have to play big brother here and bully Masvidal for the entirety of the 25 minutes. So, what does Jorge Masvidal do really well, and what are his keys to victory in this fight? Masvidal is coming into this fight the more experienced fighter in MMA, with 30 wins and a hell of a lot of street fights that you can go and watch on YouTube to let you guys know this guy is a bad ass. Masvidal has great wrestling, great boxing, and a very similar Muay Thai background to Till. He likes to throw a lot of kicks and flurries of punches, so we can expect this to be a stand-up battle. But Masvidal also might want to throw in a couple of takedown attempts just to throw Darren Till off. Masvidal's kicking game is really strong and precise. He'll throw to the head, midsection and the legs, and immediately after the head kick he'll follow up with a straight right to not give his opponent a break. He also throws spinning kicks when pressuring fighters that are trying to circle out and escape his pressure. It's also a 25-minute fight, so we might also see him trying to build up on those body kicks on Darren Till to have later effect in the fight. If he starts to land them early on, then you never know how much effect that might have on Till in the later rounds. So again, we should expect to see Masvidal applying forward pressure and momentum by using movements and kicks to push Darren against the cage, and then to try and tee off with some crisp boxing combinations. It just depends if he can find his range against a long lanky Darren Till. Another thing that Masvidal does really well is his volume and combination striking. He throws a lot of output with those hands when he smells blood, but he does have a lot of losses by a split decision, where people have said that he was hanging back too much or not pulling the trigger. So he needs to be a bit more trigger happy against Darren Till, and try utilising that volume of striking in order to get ahead on the judges' scorecards over the 5 rounds. If he does manage to hurt Darren Till, then he's going to have to use a lot of creativity and jump on the opportunity as well, because he doesn't want Darren Till to have time to recover and get back to his feet to make a comeback. One thing that Masvidal does have is a presence of mind in the Octagon, and great reactionary skills to stay out of danger against Till. So let's see if Darren Till is too much for him in terms of his power and speed, or if Masvidal can get the better of him and start getting great combinations off and making this a free-flowing, messy fight. Finally guys, let's talk about the mental game, as I think there's a few interesting things to mention on this one. Well, it certainly seems like in the build up to this fight, both men have the confidence and genuinely aren't afraid of each other. They both have respect for each other, and you can see that in their face-to-face interview with Dan Hardy. By the way guys, if you haven't already, check that out. So, I don't think that either of them are going to be intimidated by one another mentally. However, Darren Till is fighting in London and also coming off a big loss to Tyron Woodley, so he has a lot of pressure on him to have a strong performance, and the pressure of fighting in your home country as well, it kind of goes either way. You either love the moment and the crowd gets behind you and it really enhances your performance, or it has a negative effect and you put too much pressure on yourself and you begin to freeze up and things just all fall apart. Another point for Darren Till is the weight cut that he has to make for this fight and whether he can hold up with that. The first question is around whether he actually makes weight in the first place, no health issues, things like that. The second question is the toll that it takes him mentally getting down there, and if it affects his chin or cardio, because he might not be fully hydrated before the fight night. Masvidal obviously doesn't have to worry about any of this because he's fighting away from home, and he's also moved up from lightweight to welterweight to have a more optimum performance at natural weight class. A bit like if Till moved up to middleweight or light heavyweight. Anyway, let's hope this fight actually happens, and there are no health issues or anything like that before the fight, and if it does happen, it's going to be a cracking night of fights. I'm not going to be able to upload a recap unfortunately, as I am away from home that weekend, but feel free to DM me on Insta if you guys have any queries or questions about what happens, or just want to know generally about the fight as well. I'll also put my Instagram and Patreon in the description, so if you guys feel like supporting me or following me, once again do that, and please subscribe, like and comment as it makes it all worthwhile. So guys, I've been MMA HeadSpace, you've been amazing, have a great week, enjoy the fights, and peace out.